The Riu Santa Fe is one of the most popular all-inclusive resorts in Cabo, and we just got back from a great week stay. This video will help you cut the learning curve when it comes to finding the best the resort has to offer and some things you should avoid. What I've learned after visiting most of the hotspots in Mexico over 15 years is that every resort has its hidden gems, different ways of navigating the a la carte restaurants, and tips and tricks that I wish I knew on day one instead of figuring them all out just in time to head home. These are the 20 tips you need to know if you are thinking about visiting the Riu Santa Fe. Stick around to the end for a bonus tip about our favorite off-resort activity. The specialty dinner restaurants don't take reservations and don't have strict dress codes. For the more popular restaurants, you will have to wait to get a table, so get there early. One night, the husbands waited in line while their families were getting ready, but they wouldn't even put us on the list without everyone being present. The buffets are better than most other all-inclusives I've experienced, with something for everyone, but the specialty dinner options are subpar at best. The steakhouse was actually our least favorite, but seemed to be the most popular. Tip number 2 is for the coffee lovers out there. The buffets have self-service espresso machines that give you a variety of coffee options from lattes to mochas. Your only other early morning coffee option is the coffee maker in your room or the espressos at the sports bar. For tip number 3, we're sticking to the breakfast theme. The best place for breakfast by far is the buffet closest to the ocean. It has a made-to-order omelet station, always had amazing fresh fruit, and by far the best views. If you take anything away from this video, number 4 is the most important. It is no joke. The ocean is not safe to swim at the resort due to a strong undertow. The week before we showed up, somebody had actually passed away off the beach in front of the Riu. You can take a 15-minute walk down the beach to get to safer areas for swimming, but walking isn't super easy due to the steepness and coarse nature of the sand. Plan on spending your water time in the pools. Tip number 5 was a pleasant surprise. We didn't need to play the towel game like at other resorts. By towel game, I mean going down early before you intend to be at the pool, putting stuff on a chair, and saving your spot. When we were there were plenty of chairs to go around. I did the towel game the first couple morning and realized I don't need to be getting up that early. We came down after breakfast sometimes at 10 a.m. and there were still plenty of chairs to be had. That being said, our favorite spots were the front row facing the ocean because of the amazing views. If you want those spots, be prepared to get there early. Number 6 ties into number 5. If you get oceanside seats or sit at the edge of the infinity pool, be ready for vendors on the beach to be yelling at you to get your attention. The vendors will hassle you on the beach nonstop, even if you're sitting by the water enjoying the views. If you politely say no thank you, they do move on. Number 7 might be a deal breaker for some of you. There are no servers bringing you drinks around the pools like I've experienced at other resorts. The best workaround is to bring your own tumbler. It will allow you to get larger drinks and keep them cool, as well as use the self-serve beer stations so you don't have to wait in line. Continuing the theme of potential deal killers, don't count on having an elevator in your building unless you ask for building number 7. Most of the buildings have 4 floors, so be ready to get your steps in depending on what floor and building you get. If anyone you're traveling with is mobility impaired, you might double think staying at the Riu. Tip number 9, there is no room service, which may not seem like a big deal, but once you've been to a resort that offers it, you'll realize how nice it was once that late night hunger hits you. Tip number 10, the liquor options are not high end, even if you want to pay for it. If you want high-end booze, I recommend either getting it at duty-free during your travels or hitting a local liquor store once you arrive. Tip number 11 is short and sweet. The beer options are limited to Dos Equis and Dos Equis Amber. That's it. Tip number 12. There are multiple vendors trying to set you up with water taxis. We were able to get them down to $12 a person, and that is either to go to the marina or over to Lovers Beach. They'll pick you up and drop you off right outside the resort. Lucky number 13 follows over from number 12. If you do one thing, make the trip to Lovers Beach. The water taxi will ask how long you'd like to stay, and they'll pick you up at the agreed upon time. The water on the Divorce Beach side is more violent, but there is a swimming area on the Lovers Beach side. We saw whales, sea lions, and of course, the Arch. There are vendors selling beer and water on the beach, but we took a small bag that we stocked with beverages from our mini fridge, which saved us mucho dinero. Tip number 14 will also save you some cash. As we all know, at resorts, everything is priced higher than it is anywhere else. Just down the street, outside of the gates from the resort, there's a pharmacy along with a convenience store. They've got sunscreen, little blue pills, Z-Packs, anything you'd need, and it's going to be cheaper than what you could find at the resort. Tip number 15, the water slides are great. Some reviews say they are too aggressive, but for our group, ranging from 8 to 42 years old, it was a blast. And they have some of the best pizza we had by the slides. Tip number 16, the theme parties are a must. We are not huge partiers, but man, there's a lot to see. There's jungle parties on Tuesdays, white parties on Wednesdays, pink parties on Friday, neon parties on Saturday. Earlier in the video, I mentioned how you really cannot find premium liquor at the resort. This is the one exception. You can do bottle service. You're going to pay a premium for it, but they do have options other than just your standard fare when it comes to alcohol. Tip number 17, we're sticking with the party theme. At the parties, they do have great food options like onion rings, jalapeno poppers, fries, pizza. The key is you cannot take them back to your room. We had piled up plates in hopes to go back to the room, chill, have some munchies. Nope, not gonna happen. They will make you either eat it or throw it away. Tip number 18, unless you really want to party, avoid traditional spring break times. This is a budget all-inclusive and it gets overrun with college kids during those times. If you're wanting a quiet, relaxing vacation, definitely avoid that. If you're wanting to whoop it up and live like you're young, go for it. Tip number 19, know that you get what you pay for. The resort lacks high-end touches, but it really is a great value and we had a blast. If you go into your trip with a positive attitude, you will not be disappointed. Tip number 20. There's a Facebook group called Fans of Riu Santa Fe that is very active and you can ask any questions you have, and there are lots of friendly folks in that group that will help you out. I covered a lot in this video, but not everything. That group can fill in the blanks. Also, feel free to add any questions you might have in the comments below, and I'll be sure to get back to you. Now for my favorite part of our vacation. I took my son and my buddy on an all-inclusive half-day fishing trip. It was off-season, but we were able to catch Spanish mackerel and rooster fish, which put up a great fight. I did a full video on that adventure, and here's the start of that. Click on the link, and it will take you to the full video. Thanks for watching. What do you do when you come to Mexico? You let the wives sleep in at the resort while you get out on the water. Navigating in Mexico has its risks, but we felt very safe jumping in an Uber right outside of our resort and making a quick trip to the marina. We woke up on time, found our boat, got our bait, and are off to the fishing grounds. We were fishing in February here in Cabo, which isn't peak season, but any day on the water is a great day. I was chatting with the captain, and the water temp is only 64 degrees, so our best bet for some action with a half day on the water was chasing mackerel and rooster fish.